You are here for baby registry tips, and click down below for chapters if there's a particular part you want to skip to. Some of these tips may be obvious for some people, but don't be surprised. No negative comments if it's something you've already seen, if it's something you've already read. These are tips that help me. These are tips that are good. They may be basic, but they are tips nonetheless. So thank you for coming, and I hope you get something positive out of it. And also, some of these tips work with each other, and you'll see what I mean by that later if I did not explain that well. Tip number 1, consider your situation. You are going to want to consider a variety of things when you make your registry. Also, this all will help determine what you need later on. You should consider what are things that matter most to you, and that could be versatility, longevity, convenience, or do you plan on having 2 under 2, 2 under 3, or even another one, space saving. I need to add this also, but a part of thinking about your situation, I wanted things that would last a long time. I was first interested in a convertible car seat. I didn't care about an infant car seat. I wanted something that's going to last as long as possible, and a convertible car seat will last up to 5 years. And then I wanted something that was rear facing as long as possible, things like that. Now, some of these things will clash because what's convenient may not be ideal for longevity. And also, there are free programs that will give you some car seats depending on your situation. One last thing that I did forget to mention, you might also want to do something that's multi-purposeful or multifunctional, like a 4-in-1 high chair. This oftentimes goes along with longevity or things that you can use later, just because something you might be able to use for a toy can be used as a side table when they get older. And that's what I mean when I say consider your situation, because what works for somebody who's in a small apartment might not work for somebody who's in a mansion or who's in a 4,000 square foot home. Those people may be looking for different things. As well as if you are planning on having children within the next few years, you may want to consider something like a double stroller. Number 2, do you want 1 or 2 registries? And with whom? What company? You could use all of your registry. You could use all of the companies if you want, and just keep a few to yourself to receive the benefits of the completion discount. Or you could share 2, or you could share 1. And I say this as one of the tips because 1 registry may make it easier. If you are having 2, I suggest being careful of not having too many of the same items on both. And this will prevent the same item being bought, because everyone is not going to check both registries to make sure they get something new or different. And of course, this depends on the person, but I know for me, I really had 1 registry, but if I was to have 2, which somebody else ended up seeing the second one, but if I was to showcase 2, I wouldn't want the same items on both. I have seen some registries that will have 3 strollers on Target and 3 strollers on Amazon. For me, I don't need 3 strollers. And also, I at least wanted 1 of everything. So I think that's something for you to consider. Number 3, know your supporters and whatnot. Is it worth adding big ticket items, or would it be best to have lower cost items? And honestly, I think it's better to do both. I did both, so I looked for good prices within the things that I wanted. So I didn't settle. And I would never want anybody to settle. Don't settle. If it's not what you like, if it's not what you want, don't do it. Me, I was willing to do the research to look for better priced items of the things that I wanted. And I also had my own way of prioritizing things. Also, different companies have different products. But all in all, know your supporters. So within knowing your supporters, of course, every single item didn't get purchased on my registry. I had about 118 items that varied because I added things as time went on. I deleted things as time went on. And I made sure to add items that I needed first and items that I wanted later. Like a swing to me wasn't a necessity, but I wanted it. But did I want somebody to purchase a swing first or a crib? I wanted somebody to purchase the crib first. So I put the swing on after somebody purchased the crib. Something like that. Because I wanted to make sure the necessities were purchased first. I felt very blessed. Number 4, do your research. That means talking to other moms and seeing what works best for you and your lifestyle. Reading reviews. Reading reviews was a tedious process for me, but I wanted to be thorough. I wanted what was best, what was safe for my child. And doing my research wasn't necessarily just looking into, okay, how does this car seat function? But it was also looking into what I mentioned in Consider My Situation. I wanted space-saving items. So I may have looked into what are some good space-saving items for a baby. I might have looked into YouTube videos for people with small apartments and who had a baby, because that was my situation. So that's a part of doing my research, because I didn't just want anything. I didn't want something that I wasn't going to be able to use later. The car seat, I didn't know. I don't know. Car seats were one of those things for me that always existed, but I never knew for sure. Convertible, infant, like facts about car seats. So those were one of the things I was researching for a good while. And also, I did not want it to be too expensive on my registry. So I picked a car seat that was, I felt like a good price, but also what I wanted, and that was safe. And you might think, okay, car seat, all car seats are safe, but safest, if that helps. But still cost efficient, but still a fair price. 5, create a list of your needs and wants. When you're creating a list of your needs and wants, this might be too much for some people, but for me, I had to create a list of my needs and wants on my telephone notes. And I accumulated things on my list, and then I added those to the registry. As I mentioned before, I wanted to put my necessities on there first, then wants later. And to be specific, like a crib, like a car seat. Then I can put the extra stuff like a swing, because at the end of the day, a swing is a want for me. It's not something I need. And besides, I know I'm not going to be using a swing all the time, because I don't want my child to get so used to the swing that he always has to be rocked to sleep. So that was my thought process with that. I also want to say that what I did, and it may work for some of you, so consider this, but you might want to update some of your items as you may receive them. Some people may get things from your registry, but not put the information on, like on Babylist. You have to put the order number in. Not everybody may want to do that. Maybe Babylist and other companies will work on that together. But right now, you have to put the order number in. And again, not everybody may want to do something like that. Some people may purchase items in person. And even then, like at Target, you can always, I know you can scan the baby registry code, barcode, so that that person can have it marked off their registry. But either way, you may want to mark items off so that way somebody knows, okay, this item was purchased. That way you don't get double items if you don't want them. Number 6, don't add items you know you are going to get. And this may be a part of knowing your supporters. Me, for example, I just figured I would get plenty of clothes. And not only did I guess I would get plenty of clothes, but a part of my village, others had their own children, church members, some people gave me a bag of clothes. So I had quite a bit of 0 to 3 month clothing. But at the end of the day, whether I put it on my registry or not, I figured people are going to get clothes. Clothes are cute to people. And I'm not saying it's a negative thing, but I'm just saying, for me, clothes was that thing that I figured people were going to get, whether I wanted it or not. I've always seen people buy clothes, and I'm gonna tell you, I had one outfit on my registry, and I only chose that one outfit in case anybody was attentive and they thought, let me see what kind of clothes Ariana and her partner wants. I put like a double zip, a zip up sleeper that was 2-way. That way if people did get clothes, they knew like, okay, I would be into things like this, things that are easier to put on. And no one got that outfit. Despite no one buying the one outfit that I had on my registry, I had plenty of clothes. And I still have plenty of clothes. And honestly, with the 0 to 3 months, it got to the point where he didn't get a chance to wear all his clothes. And I was always told, people are gonna buy so many clothes, your baby won't have a chance to wear all the clothes. Now, 0 to 3 months is pretty popular. So even when I did have that one outfit on, I had it set for like 12 months, something a little far out. So I also do suggest, if you are gonna put clothes in your registry, have a variety of age ranges or sizes. It's just, I think it's just better to do that. In addition to what I already mentioned about clothes and why I didn't feel the need to have plenty on my registry with having supporters and already receiving clothes, but I feel like clothes are pretty easy and not very expensive. And I personally don't care if my child is wearing the same clothes if they're clean, especially at this stage. It's not a big deal for me. So that played a big part in why it wasn't a big necessity for me. And also, sizing gets funny with clothes. So it really did play another part in why I didn't care. Because I always felt like I could just get clothes as time went on if I really needed them. Because I don't know how big or small he's going to be. Number 7. Get multiples of certain items. And I know, it sounds a little contradicting. Because I've said you want to make sure you don't get double items if that's your preference. But I will be honest, and somebody did mention this to me when I did say I didn't want multiple items of the same thing. You're going to want multiple items of the same thing. But in my defense, I at minimum, wanted one item of everything I needed or wanted before getting multiples. Because at minimum, I can at least have one of the thing that I wanted or needed. So while getting multiple items is nice, I would rather have one of everything than to have 2 bobby pillows, 8 nail files, and no petroleum-free cream. You know, that's how I felt about that. I didn't design my registry to get multiples, because worst case, I could always buy a second of something I wanted or needed that was better for me to have multiples in. For an example of what multiples would be nice of, I have a nail file in my diaper bag. I have a nail file in my bedroom and in the living room. I'm mainly in a ranch style place, so I don't have to go up and down the stairs. But for some people, you may want a boppy pillow in your bedroom, and you may want a boppy pillow in the living room downstairs. But again, I wanted one of everything before getting multiples or people buying the same items. 8. Think long term. When I say think long term, I added a potty training seat to my registry. But like I mentioned before with the needs and wants, some things I added later as things were being purchased on my registry. I was adding more things and or deleting the things that were purchased. I wasn't just adding things that I would need for the first 3 months. I was adding things like I just mentioned, the potty training seat, or 12-month clothes. Well, I didn't really add clothes, but that one item that was 12 months. Or a silicone feeding set. Those were things on my registry that I knew I'm going to need this at some point. Now, I didn't really add anything too much that I felt like I would need past 1 year. But I did add things that I felt like, I thought long term in the sense of up to 1 year. I also added cash or Visa gift cards. I didn't really add food gift cards. I know some people suggest that, but at the end of the day, if I want food, I'll get it with a regular Visa gift card if need be. 9, add things for mommy and daddy. For dad, you might want to add a skin bonding shirt. I can't think of what it's called, but it's for bonding and it's like a flap. Nipple butter for mom. Postpartum items, a pairing bottle, a witch hazel spray. Add those things. Now for me, if I didn't have somebody to purchase them by a certain time, I was going to buy it for myself because I wanted things ready for my hospital bed and aftercare. So I wasn't going to wait around for somebody to buy it, but I did have it on my registry in case somebody bought it in due time. Number 10. Add gender neutral items, especially with big things like a crib. Now this also goes with number 1. Think about your situation. Do you want more kids within the next few years? Because if you do, what if you've got a girl, then you've got a boy, and you're like, oh my gosh, I am so upset that I got pink 2 years ago because I don't want my boy to have pink. Well, this is that moment. If that's you, if you think that would be you, this is that moment. Get gender neutral items. If you want to have a kid in the next few years, why not? For me, I don't want to have a child within the next few years, but I'm still thinking long term. Like, I'm still thinking about that. Especially if it's something that can be used in 6. Like, call me a hoarder or whatever you want to call me, but I do want to have another child. And when that time comes, certain things I hope that I have the space to still have. I say get gender neutral items unless you really just don't care. I feel like I would get gender neutral items with big things, and maybe the small things I would do girly or boyish, things that I'm not tripping about replacing, like a pillow, a blanket. And honestly, I think with color, I think some things aren't that important for me when it comes to color and boy versus girl. But I did just want to point out gender neutral items. Number 11, when you add diapers, because it is likely that you are going to add diapers to your registry. When you add diapers, add different sizes and different brands, because you don't know what brand is going to work for your child and when. Certain brands may work at certain stages. So I think it's just best to add different brands at different and get different stages as well. I didn't add newborn diapers to my registry because I didn't know how my child was going to come out. I didn't know how big he was going to be, so I didn't want newborn. Even with clothes, I didn't want newborn. I had 2 newborn outfits and 2 preemie outfits, but just get different sizes, different brands, because you don't know what's going to work. And if you are interested in cloth diapers, I suggest getting I know they come with insert. It's a liner. I was looking for it, but I'm not getting up to go get it. But there's a liner. They have charcoal, and then they have like regular liners that can help with the cloth diapers on top of the inserts. So that's what I have used. I feel like it just makes it easier, even though his poops may not be solid right now. I feel like it just helps relieve some of the difficulties with cleaning the cloth diapers. And I rotate between cloth diapers and disposable. Number 12, register early. I'm sorry if you didn't want to hear that, but maybe you might want to register early. I don't see anything wrong in creating your registry early. What's early, you might add? I began making my registry, it was definitely before. I probably made it in late July. I don't remember. I probably made it in late July and I was doing January. But I'm a fan of free, and so I made multiple registries so I could receive like the free gifts. And some of them you have to make purchases first, or it's a certain amount that you have to make before you can receive your sample box or your free welcome registry gift, whatever it is called. And so I made my registry pretty early. But my first registry was Amazon, and I really was just adding things to make sure I qualified, and then I took more time to do my research after. I'm not saying that you should do that. I'm just telling you that at the time I was just in a rush to get the free sample box because I didn't want it to be sold out. Because I think I've heard that some people had to wait because they couldn't get it or whatever. But anyway, the purpose of registering early for your baby registry is that babies can come early, which is also why you might want to have a shower within a safe time range. Babies can come early. Some can come very early. Some come late. But you want to give folks time and give yourself time to work on a registry, especially because you might have to do research. So again, just give yourself time, give others time. Giving others time is some people are going to take the time they want anyway, but just mainly give yourself time. I added stuff privately before making the list public. That way I can just know that I had the right things I needed. Sometimes I would just add multiple things and I might have to come back to it later to do some more research. And here's a bonus. Add your partner to this process. That is really your prerogative, both of y'all's prerogative at the end of the day. It also depends on people's situation, because some people may not have their partners or some people may not be interested. But I think it's worth asking or involving your partner, whoever's doing the registry, and whoever your partner is. Now that we've gone over the 12 tips plus a bonus, I just want to say a few words of warnings, or however you may call this. I want to say, one, some people will never look at your registry. Some people you may love may never look at your registry. They may not believe in looking at your baby registry and getting what they want. Some people will say they will buy things and never will. 3, some people may ask you what you want and still not get what you want, or still care about what you want. Lastly, don't be discouraged if people aren't buying things immediately. And I want to elaborate on that. I believe some people buy things at different times. Some people buy things in advance for your baby registry. Some people buy things the week of your shower, whether they're bringing it themselves, or whether they're bringing it themselves to your shower, or whether it's getting delivered to your house. I'm usually that person. I buy the gift the week of their shower, unless I know like the week of their shower is like close to the due date. And then some people will buy things after your shower or after the baby's born. But do not be discouraged. Sometimes it takes some time before you start getting in gifts. And that concludes this video. Thank you for watching. And please respectfully comment below any tip that you may have for a baby registry, or any tip that you didn't think about or hadn't seen, or underrated, whatever you see fit. If you've got any tips of your own, I would love for you to comment them below. You can help somebody else. Thank you.
If you ride with me, you gotta work for the both of us.